What's up, everybody? Joneser here, and we're going to try something new for the channel that we've never attempted before. We've got a threefer this time, so we're going to do Fisto, Jitsu, and Jitsu. Fayata! What's up, everybody? It's Joneser, your favorite comic book guy.
Let's do this.
Well, okay, we're back here, and I'd like to remind everybody, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the channel. At the time of filming this video, we're closing in on 300 subscribers, and we are onwards and upwards. We've got plenty of Masters of the Universe related content, comic books, some video game stuff, and I've got some more things up my sleeve. So Motu Joneser is a Masters of the Universe channel, but we are going to be doing many other things. So anyway, without further ado, we will dive into the lore that is Fisto and Jitsu! Fisto first appeared to me in toy form. I think I was lucky enough to get him from Christmas from my grandmother. He looking good in this little Masters of the Universe mini comic. You know, I don't know why he punched without his metal fist, but look at this shot here where he gets trap jaw one. Oh, I love this. This was emblazoned in my little kid mind. Now, Fisto famously came in a 2-pack with Strider, which was pretty cool, so that I always assumed that horse was his. He also appeared in the Filmation show, where look at that ridiculous sized fist. But one thing that was interesting to me about the Filmation show is he started out as a villain working for Skeletor, who later learned to be a good guy. In the 2000X show, he appeared and they rewrote his origin. I think they made him Tila's father and renamed him Battle Fist. I guess they thought Fisto wasn't a good name. He also appeared in Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation, where they had some really bad jokes about his name, but other than that, it was a pretty good appearance. Now, Jitsu kind of intersects with Fisto here, as they seemed to be mortal enemies. And Jitsu here in his packaging, you know, is the martial arts chopping power, which was pretty neat. And also, like Fisto, he came in the 2-pack with the repaint of Strider, which they called Night Stalker. And Jitsu also appeared in the Filmation show, but it was only under one episode, and I think he was named Chopper, but I don't think it was ever said. Also, he had a 2000X figure, which looks really cool, but he was never in the show. So I guess for myself, I always found these two characters as polar opposites and mortal enemies, even though that's never really been a story that they've ever told. Okay, we've got 3 figures to get to and a little time to do it, so we are going to just dive right in. So we'll start with Jitsu here. Jitsu comes in the typical Master of the Universe blister card, Evil Master of the Martial Arts. We'll flip the card around here and we'll check out this artwork on the back. Looking very cool, very good homage to the original artwork from the vintage. I'm really digging the battle with He-Man and Jitsu and Skeletor, and I'm really digging this. Look at what we got here. We got a Cyclone spinning in to kind of save the day, so I can't wait for Origin Cyclone to come show up and take my money. Here we've got the action features, which is in typical Masters of the Universe Origins fashion. There is no action features. His arm does not chop like the vintage one does. We will compare to that later. And there's the cross-sell on the back. This is from a much older wave, and I've been holding on to this figure for way too long, so we are going to open him shortly. So he will step to the side here, and Fisto, will you come to the front here? So here we've got a Masterverse Fisto, who's looking really cool in the package here. I've had this for quite a while as well, hence why we're doing multiple figures in one video to try to keep up or catch up. I love this artwork of Fisto here on the side, just standing resolute on a hill. And we flip around to the back, and here we've got Fisto battling some of Skeletor's goons. He appears as he did in the Masters of the Universe Revelation cartoon. We've got some sky sleds and some Eternian guards swinging around in the background, and Fisto just putting it to these guys. So can't wait to get him out of the box. And last but certainly not least, we have Jitsu again. And here's Jitsu in the new Eternia style. He comes with a mask, and his armor is much more reminiscent of like a samurai, which was an interesting choice to me because I thought that made him look a little more heroic. He's supposed to be a villain, right? Well, here's the side art here in his samurai mask and sword raised and ready to go. Well, and here was my explanation is this version of Jitsu, if you read this story here, seems to be more heroic. It seems to be he's mistrusted as a thief. The master of martial arts shows his true colors, aligning with He-Man to fight to protect Eternia in the universe. So these new Eternia figures are original designs inspired by classic concepts. So I guess in the original concept, they were wondering if Jitsu was going to be the good guy and Fisto was going to be the bad guy, which is interesting. Anyways, that threw me for a loop, but these new Eternia figures are kind of stepping in a new direction, heavily based off the old direction. But anyways, we are going to open these up. Okay, here's Jitsu out of the box, and he is looking snazzy. He comes with his mini comic here, artwork nice and glossy. Great story of Jitsu basically kicking everybody's butt until He-Man comes along who kicks Jitsu's butt, which is awesome. I love that they showed him as a capable warrior. It's got all the posing and flexibility that you would expect an Origins figure to have. And really the only thing missing from this guy is his action feature. And now if you don't know what I mean about his action feature, I'll have to show you a vintage Jitsu here. Now, what you did with the original toy is you pulled back on this arm here, and he choppy. So, hey there, Origins Jitsu, you think you're all bad? Well, you can't do this. Dayata! All right, that's enough of that nonsense, and we're moving on to Fisto. So Fisto comes with 2 additional hands. We got the open hand, and we've got a gripping hand for his awesome Fisto sword, which is pretty cool. I think I like it better than the vintage, and I'll show you why in a bit when we compare him to a vintage one. I also would have to say I enjoy this fist has some different posability options that the original did not have, where you can kind of turn it and twist it and move it, whereas the original was much more oversized, or maybe not, but a solid piece. So I think that is pretty cool. Other than that, he kind of hits all the check marks that I would think Fisto should look at. There's a little bit of some I don't know if that's paint slop or some chipping or whatever. There's definitely some paint slop on his leg there, but not a deal breaker. I'm pretty happy with the figure. And we can compare him here to a vintage Fisto, which again, this thing with the sword where it was a solid purple piece, I actually kind of like it in this Masterverse version where it's more of a bladed looking with still got the purple hilt and everything. So pretty neat to kind of have both. And, like I said, the fist didn't have a articulation option, but he did have the kapowie. That's right. He could just sit there and kapowie. So that was pretty cool. we've got a Origins Fisto here, which has all the look and articulation you would expect in an Origins figure. Oops, they're attacking each other back there. But he does not have that extra bend that the Masterverse figure had, which is pretty cool. And again, he, much like the Jitsu, cannot do what a vintage one can do, and that is whip everybody's butt. Whatcha? That's right! Okay, last but certainly not least, we've now got our Jitsu out of the package, and he is now looking snazzy. I really like the look of this figure. I like that he's got this additional piece here on his arm. The rope belt and samurai looking armor looks really cool. There's a nice little sheath here for the sword, so we're going to go ahead and just slide that baby right on in there, which looks pretty cool. I am a little disappointed that, unlike with the Fisto sword, where they paid homage to the vintage looking sword, but also made it look a little more realistic with this metallic hilt, that these guys opted to just stay with the full-blown emblazoned orange sword, but managed to put the different color on the hilt, which I guess it is what it is, but it's pretty cool. He also comes with this little mask here, which we will try to fasten on him. If you just bear with me here for a second. The other thing that I thought was pretty neat, oh, that looks pretty cool. Here, check this out. There he is with his little mask and his, what chubby? You know, which again, they can't do the action feature like the vintage one can. Maybe Lyric here, my little assistant here is here. He can demonstrate the Wachoppy on camera here against the new one. If you just pull that little Wachopper back and then, oh, you got to hit the bad guy. You know, or I don't know if he's supposed to be a bad guy or a good guy. According to the packaging art, Jitsu's now a good guy in this new Eternia stuff, which is pretty cool, I guess. In my mind, he's always going to be a villain. That's just kind of the way it is. There's another little action feature I'm going to have Lyric demonstrate here. If you pull a Masters of the Universe figure's waist back, he does a power punch. Wha-bam! And, you know, that's just pretty cool. Those old vintage ones, you know, had all those little action features. Just looking here at the back, it looks like you can detach this deal here and take this samurai armor off, and then if you pop this mask off of him, bear with me here, you can get him in a little more of a vintage style look if that suits you. So here we have our Jitsu and our Fisto. And like I said before, I always felt like they were mortal enemies, even though a storyline was never presented as to why they would be mortal enemies or why. I guess in 2000X, they did say why Fisto had a metal fist, even though it was giant before that. You know, you were free to use your own imagination. When I was a kid, I used to like to pretend that Jitsu was a thief because you can take this piece off. And I felt like as a thief, you know, you get your hand chopped off for the crime, and that he put a golden hand on himself because he was just such a good thief. And then he could put it out like, here, give me the money, put it in my hand. That's right. You know, and then I figured since Fisto being a reformed villain, he had the same, you know, problem, I guess, you know, in my little kid mind, Attorney and Justice, you know, they chop off hands to thieves. And he had a silver hand, you know, because he wasn't as good of a thief as Jitsu, but then he eventually, you know, became a good guy anyway. So let me know what you think in the comments, you know, or if you as a child wrote your own origin story as to why Fisto and Jitsu were enemies. You know, maybe Jitsu was his master and trained him to be a thief, and then Fisto found out it was wrong and then just smacked him in the face. BAP! Until next time.